Hello again. Today's video will be relatively brief but informative. I thank you for your patience. I've been a little under the weather and you can probably still hear a little bit of my voice, hence the sabbatical from posting videos. Alright, let's get started. First, this video is going to correct a few errors I made in my previous videos and hopefully increase the performance of your virtual machines. In my first video I mentioned that 16 gigabytes was the minimum amount of RAM needed for Windows 2019 Server. This was grossly inaccurate on my part. I was misremembering something from one of my networking courses, human error, but I digress. The minimum needed is only 2 gigabytes with the desktop experience. That said, we are still having lagging performance. It is typically indicative of memory issues or CPU issues, hence why I made the little error. You may have noticed it while we were installing it. There was a bit of lagging. The mouse was, clicking and missing visual cues on the screen. And after doing a little research, I found that once hypervisor is enabled in UEFI and BIOS, a feature in Windows 11 called Core Isolation and Memory Integrity is enabled. Memory integrity adds more resource overhead by adding an extra layer of processing and management for the hardware resources. Essentially, when the virtual machine needs these resources, it has to go through the isolation layers first, increasing latency and causing the slower access time and performance that we were seeing. The function of memory integrity is to prevent attacks through your VM that directly affect memory. Our virtual network will not be attached to the outside world, so we should feel just a little bit safer turning this feature off. And doing so now will dramatically increase the performance of our virtual machines, but will require a reset. I'm going to show you where that feature is. It's very easy. You just need to go to the search function and search for Core Isolation. Happy birthday, David Bowie. I'm just going to click that search that I've already done, and boom, it's the first thing that pops up. And this is located under Device Security if you want to go the long way around. Once I turn this off, it's going to require a reset, and I will do so and then return in another segment to show you how that works. Okay, with memory integrity disabled, we will boot up to our 2019 server, and you'll immediately see the difference between the performance and when it was installed and now. Should boot quite a bit faster and get to the screens a little bit quicker, log in a little quicker, excuse me. I would also like to mention that I misspoke in a previous video as well, referring to DHCP as Dynamic Host Configuration Server. It was in fact Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol Server. In IT, it is important to understand your acronyms and their functionality. Alright, so we've already got to the login screen much quicker than we were before. A quick side note, VirtualBox, you cannot hit Control-Alt-Delete in. It's just going to pull the task manager up in your host machine. You're going to want to hit the home key and delete. And your home key in Oracle VirtualBox is typically the right control key on your keyboard. And that pulls up the Control-Alt-Delete. You can change this in the file settings if you don't want to use that control key. All right. And I've already logged into the desktop much quicker. My server tools are about to pop up much faster than before. Server manager, server tools, same thing. And this feature right here is what we're going to use in my next video to add our Active Directory service. Back to what I was saying about DHCP. The DHCP server we enabled when forming our isolated network is what allocates the IP addresses to our machines. When our VMs connect to the virtual network, they send a request to the virtual DHCP server for an IP address within the subnet that is not in use. Some fun facts for you. DHCP uses UDP ports 67 and 68. Those are going to be important for your certification tests. You'll also need to know the difference between UDP and TCP ports. TCP port is connection oriented. It establishes a connection before the data is sent. You're going to want to know about that three-way handshake and how to identify it. UDP port just sends the data, which at times can have errors and lost packets. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I am sorry again it took so long to get back on here, and my next video we will be configuring our server. Thanks again.